Hey, what's going on there, folks? Welcome back here to a Monday night, early Monday night, May 13th, 2024, about 7:12 p.m. here, California time. Latest activity on the Earthquake 3D globe shows a .9, little small microquake up there in Northern California. Well, our sunspot here, the culprit of many X flares and many M flares, and the recent large CME activity and a once in a lifetime experience of auroras, is sending off a departing gift. Now, it looks as though this has peaked into the X flare category. As you can see right here, quite the flare. It's still continuing as we speak into the X flare category at a 1.7. Has not peaked yet. Looks like we're starting to get a little bit of curvature right here, but goodness, what a strong flare. It's a sunspot that keeps giving. And even though it's just about out of sight here off the western limb, it is still, again, giving us a one last show. We'll have to watch this thing, see what happens as it takes its journey across the far side of the sun, whether it comes back for a second visit, as active as it is right now. I guess that will remain to be seen here. A lot of times these sunspots can take numerous trips around the sun, but mostly they deteriorate over time. Look at the R3 radiation storm coming in, it looks like right now, with the subsequent flaring that's going on, the polar regions, and also the sunlit side of the Earth. And it looks like that's centered over the Western Pacific, like right around the Japan area. So the effects there are going to be radio blackouts, high-frequency navigation systems, and whatnot. Specifically limited to this area that you're seeing in the red there, but goodness, that's quite the flare. I'm kind of curious to see when it's going to see what it's going to top off at. Double check this here. Looks like we got a little spike here on the downward trend. You guys see that? Really quick impulsive flare. It does look like it's peaking out here at an X 1.7. That's what I'm registering right here. So we'll give it a second or so and see what it peaks up at. Aside from that, earthquake activity, looking at the last 24 hours here, well, we really haven't seen any large-scale earthquake activity here, folks. One of the largest events in our lifetime here, as far as multiple CMEs, many X flares, Earth-directed, auroras down to Puerto Rico and lower. Well, you know, it's there's not a lot of earthquake activity. Yes, there is earthquake activity, but there's no big earthquakes, no elevated sign of elevated activity. This is just, it's one in the books there that pretty much squashes the theory. Now, there may be some relation. There's always the effects from sunspots with weather, and it makes sense, right, for the sun to play a part on plate tectonics as well. But, it's been a couple days now. We really haven't seen any large-scale earthquake activity, and it shouldn't take years or months. That just doesn't make sense there if we were to use that type of theory. In the next couple years, we're going to see a large earthquake because of the sun activity. Yeah, see that? That sounds foolish. So, yeah, can't go that route. Yellowstone National Park, let's double check, make sure there's no major activity going on. Things look pretty quiet. There's some wind events right here from earlier. Aside from that, things pretty quiet. Latest chart, still waiting on this thing. It looks like it has peaked out here. So we're going with an X 1.6 is what they have right there for that solar flare. And this imagery is a little behind. This is taken at 0205, so we're about 10 minutes behind. But the next update, we should see this thing spectacular with an X flare coming in here. But it does look like it's an impulsive event as far as not associated with the CME. But let's check out the latest solar wind prediction here. Now, it looks as though they're scheduling some type of Earth-directed event here around the 15th. Look at the CME that was blasted off. Not a big one. That's just one, right? This event that we just had last time was several of them. So there's going to be some plasma, a little bit of elevated speed as well. And potentially maybe a G2 class storm, it looks like, coming up here. Coming up, yep, G2. So we'll watch that. And but aside from that, the auroras are not going to be down to the areas that we've seen last week here. That's a once in a lifetime event. It doesn't happen all that often. I'll be surprised if it happens again here soon. But there's the X-ray class chart, or the X-ray flux chart right now up into the R3 radiation storm. You know, that's a decent size X flare, and it does look like it's peaked out. 6-hour run, there it is. That would make it X 1.7, and not the strongest one that this one has produced. The strongest X flare that 3664 has produced was the second largest one of this solar cycle, the X 5.8 there a few days ago. And that's actually going to be the culprit of this next CME arrival and the G2 class storm that's expected here on the 14th and 15th. So we'll check back on that a little bit later when the arrival of that CME comes in. But yeah, I mean, obviously that's a pretty strong flare. Above that was 3590 in X 6.3 back in February. These are actually very minimal amount of flares. Now, obviously an X flare is going to be a powerful flare, but we have seen a lot of stronger ones historically in the past. So, but for this solar cycle, 25, that's what we got. I'm sure things will ramp up potentially as we're expected to be into the solar maximum roughly 2025, summer of 2025, somewhere around there is what the progression chart shows us right here. And this has not updated yet. Still missing April. Not for sure why, but that's what's on here. Either way, we'll watch for some stronger flares as we head into the future, no doubt. All right, what else we got here? Let me just double check this thing. I want to see if the imagery updated yet. Not yet. I'm not for sure how often it updates here. I don't know if it's every 10 minutes or what, but I wanted to see what this really looks like here. It's a beautiful flare, a departing sunspot gift here to us here on Earth. Basically saying, see you next round. You never know. Could come back around the bend here again and provide us with another spectacular show. You just never know, right? Never know. All right, I think I'm going to jump off here, and I'll keep an eye for the updated imagery on that X flare. Southern California earthquake activity, it looks like that has pretty much died off. There was another 2.2, 2.3 down here. It's south of the border, but this is close proximity here to SoCal, and really no elevated earthquake activity here today. Hawaii still seeing some movement out here around Pahala, but really nothing big around the Kilauea volcano for now. And it just looks like a typical day out here on the planet for now. Earthquake activity at various areas around the globe. That's what it looks like every single day. If you were to go back here last 7 days of earthquake activity, that's what you got. Not anything elevated. None of this is elevated due to space weather activity. We've seen larger activity actually prior to the space weather movement. So, just one of those things. It's one in the negative mark for the book in terms of space weather and earthquake relationship there. But, all right, I'm bouncing out of here, folks. We'll keep an eye on things. By the way, the current Aurora activity, there you go. Extremely low conditions. Not a whole lot going on there for now. But again, G2 class storm expected as we head into the, it shows the May 14th time period. UTC time of 1824, May 14th. So right now it's May 14th, 0215. So this could be an afternoon event tomorrow, right? Or later. No, that's going to be on the 5th. That's going to be on the, I don't know. We'll have to check back on that. We'll get the exact dates on this. But right now it's 0210. So add on that time frame here. Yeah, it may be an early morning afternoon event, which would not be good for this side of the Earth, far as seeing the auroras. But we'll continue to check it, folks. Stay safe. Have a good day. Enjoy. There it is. I seen that X feature. It was on the other one. Where's it at? Right here, it looks like. 0211. See, that one's not. This one hasn't updated yet. I don't know why. But it has on the thumbnail. It's a little weird. Let me see if I can bring up. Yeah, it's still showing some older imagery. I'm not for sure why, but. Here's the SDO. Still at 0205. All right. We'll catch you guys back out here a little bit later, folks. Stay safe and have a good night. See you guys back out here in the morning.